Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. I hope everybody's enjoying their Friday evening, coming into yet another weekend. It's always great. It's not great, however, because it's another weekend without Roma. This is the second consecutive Monday night special. I am very looking forward for this one because it's Ranieri against De Rossi. It's the father against the son. It's kind of the manager which De Rossi wants to become against himself, who is an emerging manager. So it's definitely a dive in the past for Ranieri. There's going to be an incredible atmosphere. Welcome them both at home because the Olimpico is Ranieri's home as much as it is De Rossi's home as well. But Ranieri is a Roman from his heart. He bleeds Roma. He breathes Roma. And he's covered in red and yellow. And he'll be back at the Olimpico, so I'm very looking forward to praising him, obviously applauding him on Monday. I will be there, as always, so Stadium Vlog will come on Monday. But yeah, it's another weekend without Roma, ladies and gentlemen. What can we do? We have to enjoy other games. There are some very good games this weekend. I cannot wait. You've got the title contender game Sunday evening. Inter against Juventus. You've got Atalanta against Lazio. Fiorentina's currently playing tonight. I'm watching the game currently. It's a very dangerous free kick for Lecce. It could have been a penalty for them, but then VAR got called because the foul was outside the box. And they've scored! There you go! I just called it. Lecce are leading against Fiorentina. Free kick goal. What a way to start the stream. What a way to start our weekend. Fiorentina losing points today. I would love it. I would love it. The more these teams start losing points, the better. Lecce leading 1-0. There you go. There you have it. What a start to the live stream. But yeah, it's your match preview today. We're going to go through the lineup. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to speak about us. We're going to speak about them. I also do want to mention something regarding our new signings. Baldanzi, Angelino. Will they play this game? Will they start? Will they get subbed in? So yeah, that's our typical match preview. I'm going to take it a bit more chilled. It's Friday evening. I have got no plans whatsoever tonight. So yeah, if you've got questions, as always, pop them in the chat. And let's get into this. I would like to start by speaking about Cagliari. Because this is their third consecutive game against relegation teams. It's the third official game for De Rossi. It would be amazing, not for him only, but for the entire team to get 9 points from our last 9 games. Which I've mentioned this in the match reaction. You know, somebody might go, De Rossi's test isn't these games, because these are games that Mourinho used to win as well. The real test for De Rossi is going to be the Feyenoord tie in the Europa League, and it's going to be the Inter game at home, which I believe is in fact, I believe it's after this Cagliari game. Those are the real tests. And partially I agree because these are games that Roma should win regardless of the manager who's sitting on the bench. But I think it's also very premature to say that these wins after sacking Mourinho and therefore appointing a new manager were certainty wins. Because I think it's wrong to say that. I think it's wrong to say that because with such a difficult atmosphere that the fan base and the pressure that the fan base gave towards the players, you know, the day after Mourinho got sacked, and even in that Verona game, the players got booed. The players were disrespected in a positive way because the fans weren't happy that Mourinho got sacked like that. And obviously, who do you blame apart from some people who blamed the ownership? The players, because the players costed Mourinho's life on the Roma bench. So it's never easy to come in and get wins. Get a win against Verona, a win against Salernitana, and hopefully a win on Monday against Cagliari. When you're a new manager, when you're a manager who needs to replace one of the last winning managers at this football club, you know, a manager who brought glory back to our fan base, it's not easy what De Rossi is doing. And I think it's a job that up to now, yes, it's very early to dig into it and comment on it, but it's a job that, as of now, a lot of people are underestimating. It's not easy. It's not easy to be an emerging manager and take the place and the spot of one of the most winning mentality managers out there. It's not easy, and he's doing really well. You can definitely see from the training videos that Roma's posting on YouTube, and just the new concept that we want to bring into games. It's intensity. De Rossi's working on this, but as of now, it's a team which is built, and you can tell that they've been playing like this for the past 3 years, because as of now, it's a team that is playing on the structure of Mourinho, trying something new, according to De Rossi. Anyways, speaking about Cagliari, I'm going to be very honest with you. If there are any Cagliari fans watching this, which I highly doubt, because I don't know how many English Cagliari fans there are, but if there are any, I just want to say, I hope Cagliari all the best. I actually, out of all the relegation teams, I hope Cagliari stays up. Do I think they'll stay up? I think they can believe in Ranieri and must believe in Ranieri. If I could give a tip to Cagliari, it's not sacking Ranieri, because he's got the experience of keeping a team up. He's got the experience of, especially towards the end of the season with weak sides, grabbing points. He has outlawed the rules of this game with what he's done at Leicester. He is a legend of this game, and it would be a very, very big mistake to sack him if the results don't come. I wish them all the best. I hope that Cagliari stay up because of Ranieri. He's a Roman. He respects, and he's a fan of my team, that it just makes you want to respect him so much. Who do I think will get relegated, by the way? Everybody let me know in the live chat who is going to get relegated. Who are the 3 teams who are going to be playing Serie B football next year? I think Empoli are. I don't see Empoli staying up. I think Salernitana are, just because the gap is there and they just don't seem to be ready, and they just don't seem to have the tools to close that gap with other teams. And then I'm going to go with Verona, just because you look at the transfer window. They've sold every single big player, from Ngonge to Saponara to Juric. They've basically lost everybody on this transfer. So I think it's going to be these 3. I wish Cagliari all the best. But speaking about Cagliari again, this is a very similar analysis to the Verona game or the Salernitana games. It's that time of the season where these relegation teams, want to steal points. It's the time of the season where, for these relegation teams, they either wake up now or they're not staying up. And therefore, you always need to play these games with a very big precaution. Look at Juventus last weekend. Juventus against Empoli. Juventus played that game knowing that they were going to win. Allegri was convinced to win that game, to the extent that he made Danilo stay on the bench, who's clearly their best defender. Danilo didn't start because everybody was convinced that they were the favourites. Juventus had to win, and then look, they've bottled that game, and that game can cost them the league title. These are games which you need to just act with just, you're going to be very careful with. Because yes, we were better than them, and yes, we were better than Verona, we were better than Salernitana overall. But the way these teams tend to play towards the second half of the season is different from the first half of the season. Overall, yes, we won against Salernitana, but I think Salernitana out-dominated us in some of these games, in some of those moments. Verona, there were 30 minutes in that Verona game where Verona completely and utterly dominated us. We need to be careful. We need to start controlling these games way more. In terms of the players they have that can pose difficulties, they don't have... You see, I can't just pick a Cagliari player and say this guy is gonna be a threat for us, because that's not what they are. Cagliari don't have a standout player. If you look at the graphic on the screen, Prati is their most valuable player. He's young, on loan from Spal. De Rossi knows him really well. But other than that, they've got players who don't really make the difference, but when they hit the day and play as a whole, they can grab points against big teams. Cagliari recently won against Bologna, something which not many teams managed to do this season. Pavoletti, Lapadula, these are all players which, yes, you can easily mark them, and you can easily stop them, and you can easily kind of liquidate their threat. But you got to be careful, and you have to play your game. Because if you play this game convinced that you're going to win, that is exactly where they're going to stab you in the back, and you're going to lose points. And losing points in these games at this stage of the season would be criminal, would be terrible. It would be the ruin of our season to start losing points against these teams. So that's all I can say about Cagliari. But other than that, as I said, good luck to them. I wish them all the best when it comes to saving themselves, and hopefully they don't. I've got quite a few friends who are from Sardinia. Great place. Yeah, great food. I just don't want them to go down. I'd rather Verona and Empoli go down, to be honest, than Cagliari. And obviously Ranieri on the bench tops the cherry on the cake. Speaking about us, right? A lot of people are probably asking, will Baldanzi, will Angelino start? Before showing you my predicted 11, I do think Angelino is going to start this game because I think Spinazzola's still out and Zalewski is not a fullback according to De Rossi anymore. So we either start Angelino or we have to start with Christensen in a position which he's not used to play in, which I think doesn't make sense. We've got Angelino. It's time to test him. It's time to see if he can do the difference and bring up the difference. And it's time to start him. Baldanzi, on the other hand, I think the fact that he's extremely young, the fact that he arrived to in this new team, which is a big step from his career, I don't think Baldanzi is going to start. I think Baldanzi is going to get subbed in, maybe the last 20 minutes. We all know that Dybala won't guarantee you more than 70 minutes in a football game, because then you always have those 20 minutes of precaution. So that's where he can come in. That's where Baldanzi can come in and maybe do the difference. Again, I don't want to get expectations too high because he's young and he doesn't deserve to get all of this pressure on him. You know, from what I've seen from the interviews that he's released, he's a very humble guy. You know, he's a very kind guy from Tuscany. He grew up Empoli was literally his hometown. He grew up there. He's always been playing in a familiar environment. He said this in the interview. This is a big step for me. You know, in terms of football, this is a big step because I know that this is a bigger experience and I'm going to feel the pressure. This is also a big step for me because on a human level, he said it in the interview, welcome into Roma. This is the first time that Baldanzi has left his parents and his family behind. Before, they all lived together at Empoli. And that is also a big difference for a young player. You know, that's your dream. Obviously, at a certain stage, if you want to grow, if you want to make the difference, if you want to have better experiences, just like everything, you got to leave your family behind. But he said it in the interview. It's not an easy step for me because I've left my home territories. I've left my family. And it's not easy. And again, he looks very, very humble. He looks like he wants to give his best at this football club. He's got welcomed really well. Mancini is obviously is from Tuscany, just like him. De Rossi meeting his idol Dybala. I just cannot wait to give him a big confidential boost on Monday. If anybody is going to the stadium, I think that obviously the stadium will be welcoming very, very well. But make yourself even louder because a young guy, it's not easy for a young guy to go from a team like Empoli to a team like Roma. So yeah, but I'm very curious to see how he performs at this level. Again, we're coming from a good momentum, very good wins. Again, not spectacular wins, but wins that definitely build their momentum and definitely build their confidence. I've said this in match reaction, but in the first round of the season, against Salernitana and Verona, we got 1 point out of these two games. Now, in the second round of the season, we got 6 points in these two games. That is what making the difference does. That is what we should be doing if we want to aim top 4. That is what we should have done at the start of the season if we want to be in an even better position. Capitalizing on these wins and exploiting the fact that we're living a great moment, confidentially wise. You know, De Rossi feels like he has reclaimed the destruction of the Mourinho sacking earthquake in the city of Rome. He needs time and will continue to need time. He will need even more time to get closer to perfection, something which is very far away. You know, the style of play, the way we want to play, the way De Rossi wants to start playing will take time. These are all games where I only care about the result. Because when you sack a manager, you bring a new manager in who isn't experienced, and then you look at the way the old manager played and how used to the players are in playing to that system. The only thing we should care about as fans right now in these games is not how we play, but what we get from these games. So that's why just get me 3 points. I don't care if it's 1-0, I don't care if it's 5-0. It's equal. Those two things are equal. It means 3 points, and 3 points is what we need, especially now that Fiorentina is currently losing against Lecce, and other teams like Atalanta, Lazio, Napoli can all start losing points and closing the gap between us and them. So that definitely is it. Moving on to the predicted 11. My predicted 11 is this. In the meantime, Nicolo saying Baldanzi and Angelino top signings. Ryan says Dai Roma. Ciao Simo, Forza Roma. Bella Daniel. Simo, updates on Smalling and Tammy, please. Yes, injury updates, and then we'll move on to the predicted 11. It's the first time after a lot of months where you look at the injury situation and you can breathe. Because Smalling, Renato Sanchez have all returned to training partially with the group, which means that they will be available in a few weeks. Renato Sanchez, I think the reason why Renato Sanchez has followed individual training sessions recently and hasn't really been getting call-ups is because he has said to himself, I need to recover the best way as possible from the injury I currently have. And even if it's not a major injury, I need time to, first of all, refocus mentally, because Renato Sanchez around mid-December had completely lost it. After Mourinho subbed him off after 10 minutes in that Bologna game, Renato Sanchez psychologically lost it. Now, we're seeing him train back with the group. Maybe he can have his chances. Again, we will never buy him back permanently at the end of the season. But it's that time of the season where you gotta get the fans going, and you have to tell the fans, try to show the fans that you're not a useless signing. And it's time to make the impact. Smalling returning to training sessions. He is aiming to be back for the Feyenoord tie and the Inter game. It would be very interesting to see how the team reacts to Smalling being back and how our formation changes with Smalling being back. I think with Smalling fit and starting, Smalling plays next to Mancini. Otherwise, it's Ndika and Mancini. Llorente could start, but I see him as a secondary option. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm glad that we can see images of him now, because before I didn't even know where he was. Now he's back training, back on the footage on Instagram, and maybe he can give a contribution to the end of the season. You never know. I hope so, because having Smalling back, yes, okay, it's not a very popular move because he hasn't been behaving himself really well. But ultimately, all I care about isn't the players and how they behave. All I care about is my team succeeding. So yes, okay, we never know what happened behind the scenes with Smalling. There are a few coincidences which I do ask myself, but maybe we never know the real truth, and maybe he was really injured and now he's back. So not to throw any shit on Smalling, but I just wanted a better clarification of what happened. Anyways, if he's back and he can give a contribution towards this end of the season, which will be fundamental, then obviously I want him to start, because I want my team to succeed, and that's what every fan should want. Right, predicted 11. Rui Patricio in goal, 4 defenders at the back. Obviously Smalling is still out, and Ndika is still at AFCON. He threw out Senegal, so fair play to him. I thought Senegal were the favourites. So Mancini and Llorente, Huijsen could start, but I see Mancini and Llorente start. Angelino debuting on Monday instead of Christensen, obviously with Spinazzola injured, and then Karsdorp on the other side. 3 midfielders with Bove, Cristante and Paredes. So Paredes back after the suspension against Salernitana. And then Pellegrini and Dybala behind Lukaku. El Shaarawy to start from the bench because recently in that Salernitana game again, he doesn't give that impact that he gives you if he starts from the bench. Pellegrini, that's his position. I I'm gonna say now, Pellegrini is gonna score again. Pellegrini is going to score again. 3 for 3 under De Rossi. Mark my words. Remember, clip this. Remember, I said this. What about the Euro list? Who's in it and who's out? We'll speak of the Euro list at the start of the week because they're still working on it to see who can be excluded from it or not. So I'll answer that question at the start of next week. Baldanzi gives me Cassano 2.0 vibes. When he moves the forward, well, the move forward. That's a good sign. Very good acquisition. Avanti says Arl right. Arl ARLTR. So that's it. Offensive, experimenting. Yes, four at the back. Yes. That's the formation which made us win against Verona. That's the formation which made us win against Salernitana. So why would De Rossi change it for such a similar game against Cagliari? I think it's going to be that. Just get 3 points and then see what happens moving forward. But that is it. That's my match preview. Be careful because you can't underestimate these teams. Prediction is Roma to win. I'm gonna go 3-0 Roma this time. I am. I'm gonna go 3-0 Roma. De Rossi at the Olimpico were a different breed. And Cagliari obviously have Yerry Mina in defense, who's already talked shit about Lukaku. That guy can jog on. Hopefully Lukaku scores against him and celebrates in front of his eye. But yeah, that is it. I think Renato trains normally. He was in the winning team training picture. Yeah, I saw that too. Interesting detail that was. Right. I think we've said everything, to be honest with you. I don't think we missed anything out. I'm going to end the stream. Oh yes, let's not forget. I'm going to open one of them today and not two, just because I don't have many remaining. I gotta stock up. I have to buy a few more, so I don't wanna. In order for them to not completely finish right now, let me just open one today. Right, we have Dionisi, Sassuolo manager. We have Giovanni Cabral from Salernitana, rare card, not a bad card. Then we've got a few badges here, shiny badges. And then we have Lecce and Monza eSports badges. No idea what that is. And then we have Ranieri from Fiorentina. Bonazzoli from Verona, and Garritano from Frosinone. What an absolute terrible pack this was. It is what it is. We still have the curse of Roma players not coming out. We only had Pellegrini and Renato Sanchez. Yeah, so I'm just going to open one because the more I open, the more I got to stick in. And I'm going to stick them tonight because tonight's all about chilling. These are the cards that we got these past few days. It's all about sticking them now. So, yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go back, watch some Netflix while sticking these cards into the album. By the way, recommendations on Netflix. I am not sure if everybody is like me, but I am obsessed with architecture. Again, I don't want to be an architect. That's not what I'm saying. I would love to, but that's not my future plan. But I just am fascinated by architecture. I'm fascinated by transforming houses into completely different and new things. And I love those programs. You know, I'm a massive fan of what's it called again? Crazy Pools. The American guy who goes into those mega villas and build pools, those incredible pools, and they show you the entire process. I love those series. I absolutely love those stories. I'm currently watching this series on Netflix all about renewing houses but making them like, you know, that modern style. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna go watch that. Let me know if there are any good Netflix recommendations, by the way. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you soon tomorrow with no, I think De Rossi is gonna speak on Sunday because we're obviously playing on Monday. So tomorrow I'm gonna catch you with more news in general. There's definitely gonna be something to talk about, so don't worry about that. Again, enjoy your Friday evening. Don't forget to hit the like, please do, before leaving the stream. And also, if you're watching this pre-recorded, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. It's free of cost, takes 2 seconds, and it would be great if everybody can do it. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Friday, and hopefully Fiorentina lose points tonight. Talk to you soon. Simo out.